you will be held to account for yourself on the day of judgment. So why would you live according to how another person understood the guidance that God gave you? The Quran is not an instruction manual, as we're often taught it is, and we need to stop treating it as such. Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 2, this is a book. There is no doubt in it a guidance for al-muttaqeen. Now, I get that as Muslims, we're discouraged to think too deeply about anything to do with religion. But Allah tells us the complete opposite over and over again in the Quran. He wants us to think, to reflect, and to ponder. And so it occurred to me that we've always been taught to look at the Quran as a set of instructions. The Quran is the instruction manual for life, we're told. But that's not how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes it. Allah doesn't describe the Quran as a set of instructions or as a set of commands. Even though He could have, He's not short on words. But Allah speaks of the Quran as huda. And the word huda means to guide or to show the way. And there is a big difference between the two. Instructions are prescriptive, whereas guidance can be both prescriptive and descriptive. But because most Muslims don't understand this, and because most religious leaders and preachers are sectarian, they have turned what is a guidance that does not stop giving into an instruction manual for their narrow-minded ideologies. For me, the beauty of the Quran is that each interpretation will be influenced by the one reading it, by their experiences, their knowledge, their level of self-awareness, their age, their culture, and even their gender. So you never run out of wisdom and lessons. Allah says in Surah Al-Imran, verse 7, He is the one who has revealed to you the book, of which some verses are clear. They are the foundation of the book, while others are mutashabihat. Now the word mutashabihat can mean unclear or allegoric. So the clear verses are universal, and everyone understands them. Even non-Muslims can understand them. For example, that God is one, or whoever kills an innocent person has killed all of humanity, and whoever saves an innocent person has saved all of humanity. That we should not cause corruption on the land, and we should not oppress others, that we should establish the prayer, give charity, and feed the poor. These are clear-cut verses of the Quran and the foundation of the book, but the rest of the verses are not so clear. So what is the key to understanding them and deriving the wisdom and guidance from those verses that Allah wants for us? Well, Allah tells us what's required in order to unlock the guidance of the Quran in verse 2 of Surah Al-Baqarah. He says, it is a guidance for those who are al-muttaqeen, God-conscious. Allah does not say it's a guidance for scholars or learned people or men or women or Arabs or any other specific group of people, but for anyone who is God-conscious. And that's why I believe even non-Muslims can approach the Quran if they have a good heart and derive some of the wisdom and benefits from it. But we've been fooled to believe that we cannot derive guidance ourselves, and therefore we give the authority and power to others. But remember, guys, you will be held to account for yourself on the day of judgment. So why would you live according to how another person understood the guidance that God gave you? All you need is to be mindful of God, and as Allah repeats in the Quran over and over again, to think, ponder, and reflect, and the beauty, the treasures, and the guidance of the Quran will reveal itself to you. So you don't need to outsource that to somebody else, somebody who's probably got his own agenda, somebody who doesn't have your interests at heart, and somebody who's not going to be asked about you on the day of judgment. So open up the Quran yourselves and see what Allah is saying to you. That's a privilege and a blessing that Allah has given us, so don't give it to somebody else.